On this installment of Creative Cabin Fever, I'm joined by Trevor from New Secret Weapon. Now, usually my intros are quite short and it just tells you a brief story about who I'm going to talk to. This one's a little bit more intense. So, many moons ago, I was 24 years old. I worked for a record label in Waterford. My boss sent me an email with Tea Party in it. I heard that song. It changed my life. That day, I realized the power of Irish music. I realized that we could sound like this. I realized that everyone should hear music like this. And I made it my mission since 24 to now to push the Irish music industry. This time last year, my boss or my person in Viking Promotions decided he didn't want to do the company anymore. And I was really ruffled. I was having a hard time because I don't do sound, I don't do much, or so I thought. And Griff told me, stop concentrating on the cans and keep going with the cans. And exactly a year later, I find myself in this incredible situation where I get to talk to the band that changed my life and I get to speak to them when they're about to relaunch their career. Most people have a 7-year itch that makes them cheat on their partners. These guys got back out there and are about to blast us all away in the Button Factory tomorrow night. And it's a huge honor to have you here, Trevor. How are you?
How's it going, Rebecca? I'm delighted to be here. Delighted of a Sunday morning. What else would you be doing?
So yeah, like it's been a mad journey. Like I think anyone who doesn't know who New Secret Weapon is really needs to go check that out, and they're about to find out because I mean we have 2 albums on the way. We have this live stream tomorrow, which is just so exciting, and you guys are so special. Like you're just so inventive and creative, and your sound is just completely different to anybody else's sound. How does it feel to be back at it?
It feels great. It's amazing. It's great to be like it's a weird time for anything. I think we got back rehearsing and kind of for this show. We were offered this show in the Button Factory, and we were like, yeah, let's get back in rehearsing. But the whole process is a little bit different now because for years we were just get into a rehearsal room and bash amps towards each other and turn it up to 11 and just go at it. But unfortunately, myself and Mark have developed a bit of a hearing condition from that. Now it's Mark's is pretty serious at the moment, but I decided to turn it kind of go all in ears and do it that way. So everything's at a lower level in our heads, but it's brought us even closer together because now we're right inside each other's heads. So yeah, it's amazing. It's a whole other chat made us really understand what we've been missing the times we haven't been playing. So we're brothers. We're 3 brothers, and we love it. So it's always a bit of fun. Like
yeah, and it is like you guys are so close, and like so the backstory to New Secret Weapon. Here we are at Knock and Stocking. Let's have a jam, and then boom! Like,
yeah, it was a funny one. Like I went to school with Mark. Me and Mark were friends like from when we were in bands together from when we were about 14, 15. And then I hadn't seen Mark. Like we were best mates, and he was a year ahead of me, and he left obviously a year because I'd done transition year, and he left a year on. So I didn't see him for years. And then I bumped into him in the car park of Knockenstocking, and he's just sitting in his van. I was like, "What's the story? How you doing?" And we're like catching up, and just as we were kind of catching up, Griff walks up, who I'd never met before now, and was like, "Mark, come on, I'm after robbing power from a shed, and we've set up a makeshift stage. We've all the gear down there. He's come down, you're playing bass." And he was like, "Is it cool if my mate Trev comes and plays drums?" And he's like, "Yeah, come on." So we started playing, and like the 3 of us had never played together. I just met Grifo, and we played for 5 hours solid, and it was all like it wasn't one part. It wasn't just jamming. It was like 5 hours of songs, and we were just on each other, and we were just like from that moment it was like this is special. Like there's a weird connection there. So yeah, it's been that was a really strange thing. I remember the next day being like having Griff's number and being like feeling like I was on a first date or something. You know what I mean? But it was we've all had this massive romance with the 3 of us ever since then, and it's kind of had its ups and its downs. But what romance doesn't? But
yeah.
now we're back and we're ready to do it.
I think that's just one of the most powerful stories. And I think that magic transfers so well to your music. Like it's so, like, obviously we all know how much I love you guys. I don't think I ever go a day where I don't tell people how much I love you guys. There's a time where I actually used you as my my Tinder anthem. I was like, yeah, if men want to get to know me, they best know who New Secret Weapon is. Cause like, yeah, your band's cool and all, like, but you know who New Secret Weapon are? Like,
I'm flattered.
but yeah, so like the first album, listen to it on loop all of the time. Tea Party is not even my favorite song. It was just my gateway drug into you guys.
Yeah,
I,
it usually is for a lot of people.
yeah, and it did bring me down a rabbit hole, like, and that rabbit hole led us all here today. So I think that's pretty magical. I'm curious to know who your inspirations are. Who got you to be you?
Oh, I grew up listening to. See, I've come from a big family. Like I'm the baby out of 7 kids, and all my older brothers. Like I would have been listening to all of their music before I had my own music. So it was so widely spanned. Like, uh, it went from like listening to Whitesnake and the Doobie Brothers to like listening to Stevie Wonder. But like I kind of started finding my own kind of feet with stuff, and I started listening to Jamiroquai. I love Jamiroquai, and kind of grew up on Jamiroquai from my teens. Like listen to early demos and stuff with Jamiroquai, and then Rage Against the Machine. Anything that was kind of had a bit of a funk thing, but a bit of power behind it as well. And then it was like Ben Folds Five for years, and it was like there was loads of anything that was kind of had a bit of jazzy and funkiness to it. That's what it was like. So, but then it was like everything else, like Black, because my brother was into Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, and another brother was into like Whitesnake and like the '80s kind of stuff, and so I had it. It was all there. And my dad's a musician as well, so it was always the music that he was playing. So I wouldn't say I was ever stuck down to a genre, but like if you were to look at my Spotify, you'll see like last year Spotify was like 80% hip hop. Like so, it's like now before that, like the year before that, it might have been mostly metal or like hard stuff. Like so, it's I think it's an ever changing thing. I don't think it'll ever stop changing. I love listening to new music. I love listening to good music. I'm not really into like following trends or fads or anything like that. I'd rather listen to music after it's cool. You know what I mean? So it's yeah, but like there's so much good music out there at the moment, and it's so easy to access it. It's like it's amazing. Like you can just go from if you just hang around with the right people, you can just the amount of great music you can get. You know yourself from hanging like all the people you hang out with. It's like you're constantly listening to new music.
Yeah, I have a few song exchanges with a few kind of cool bands around the country where every few days they'll send me, hey, did you hear this song? And I'll be like, no, but did you hear this one? And we just do that for days on end online. So I'm still getting that buzz. I
Oh, it's
might start
amazing.
doing that with you.
Yeah, well, like like I said, doing the quarantine FM, and it's the only time I really thought about. Um, like we were asked what kind of Irish music what's the favorite Irish music that we're listening to at the moment, and I only really thought about it then that like not being around all the people, all of those people in the music industry, all the different bands and stuff like that. You're not hearing the fresh music. You're not really like you take for granted where you get all your info from and where you get your music from. So it's like kind of have to start searching a little bit harder now. But it was cool with the likes of Knockin' Stockin' because there was a lot of friends of mine who were doing the application process and sifting through all the music that had been sent in. So like every few days you get like, oh, check these out, check this, because they listen to every like I don't know what way it happens in most music festivals, but like Knockin' Stockin', they sat down, they listened to every single bit of music that was sent in, and there was 5 or 6 of them sitting around the table listening to it, going, "Oh, that's cool," and they put that to one side. So it was all very considered, and there was a big emphasis behind. Like it doesn't matter what you look like if you've loads of photo shoots and you've got like a pro looking website, that doesn't matter. Is if you sound good, that's the main thing. So yeah, I kind of missed that. There's no knocking stock, and you're not getting that kind of fresh side of things as well. So it's yeah, it's cool. It's yeah, you'd miss it. Like you'd miss all the music.
Yeah, it's very different, even for me, like, because obviously, like, my passion lies in the underground. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
like, yeah, the higher artists, they're cool and all, but they're not what sparkle for me. Like, once you've passed like 20K, I pretty much, I'm done with you. Like, it's
yeah.
not my bag.
Oh,
Like,
and I hope we don't get famous.
no, you guys are solid. Like, you're a huge part of my history without you, But like, I mean, for me, like, it's mostly every Friday morning whenever my son goes off, I go to the park and I literally spend 2 hours in the park listening to the new songs that just came out that Friday to get a feel for the artist. It's a huge amount of research, and that's how I find the artist now. But it's been so much more difficult than just waiting for people to send you stuff.
Yeah, but like, isn't that the way it's gone now? Like, it's like, or that's the way it used to be, and it's just people seem a lot more detached from the music. Like, I remember even when I was growing up, I was like, I remember going in and I had enough money to buy a CD, and I go in and I didn't really know. I'd maybe watch some stuff on 2TV. Remember Dave Fanning used to have a show on a Sunday morning, and uh, I'd like maybe find something like on that and I go, right, I'm going to take a punt and get this album. Don't know what it's going to be like. I'm just going to get it and have a listen to it. But like, unless it was really, really bad, you listen to that album over and over and you really got a sense of what the music was about. And that's lost now. It's like everything is snippets and videos. And like, if you don't have a video, no one's going to listen to your song. Like, it's just, it's a different ball game altogether. So yeah, it's nice that you that old school approach of taking the stuff and listening to it and going finding the new and kind of underground stuff. There's something really special about it.
Yeah, and I really enjoy it as well. And I was the same as you. I buy CDs constantly. My house is full of vinyl. Like, I just really, really put the work in to go and figure stuff out. Like, a lot of people have been rediscovering music for the first time. So they've been going back to like old favorites and stuff. Have you had the pleasure of just sitting down and listening to music again? And if so, who has it been from your past that you've been able to delve into?
I stopped listening to Jamiroquai like kind of around when Stuart Zender left the band. Like, I kind of they lost a bit of something there. And that was like, geez, that was years ago. And so I kind of stopped listening to them and I rediscovered all the stuff again. And I was like, not only does it bring it back to your past, but you really get to uh, really enjoy the perspective of like having a new perspective on the things that the mastery of what it was that you were into. And like that as well. Like stuff, remember I said it, like I I wasn't into stuff when it was cool, like Nirvana and stuff like that. When I was growing up, when I was in school, everyone was listening to Nirvana, and it kind of turned me off because I didn't like following the crowd. I didn't like going, oh well, everyone's listening to it, so I'm going to listen to it. So it kind of left all of that popular stuff when I was growing up to one side, and now I have the chance to actually listen to it and have my own conclusion drawn to it. Like, and even the likes of Oasis, like I liked Oasis. I played like some of the first songs I played in cover bands were like Oasis songs, but like that, it just didn't really do anything for me back then. But you really understand how precious and great that stuff was when you listen to it, and it holds up. Especially like there's a lot of the popular music that you see on here on radio stations now. It wouldn't be of anywhere near caliber of what it was back then. I know that seems like a very kind of old person thing to say, but yeah, I just think it like there's a kind of a degradation of the what's on music, what's on radio stations. Like growing up, even the pop music when I was growing up was a lot of better caliber. It just doesn't seem like it's music anymore.
Yeah, and I guess this brings us on to the next question. So obviously you did the Steve Albini style of recording, and that's what we have and we're waiting for. So there's a real old school approach to that and a real sound to that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's like working with Steve. It's his like he likes his stripped back raw sound, great sound of drums, which is like like I'm a drummer, so and like I love that. I love his drum sounds. Are iconic. He's just uh, you can't hope for, like, if you're like we're a pretty tight band, so to have that kind of jagged edge approach and raw stripped back approach to music is kind of appealing, and in that kind of some ways juxtaposed, but it's, I think this is going to lend to something really nice. Like I'm looking forward to the album coming out, because I think Steve done something really great with it, and I know he says he's just an engineer, but he's more than that. But yeah, it's going to be heavier. It's going to be big, massive drums, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of harshness to it, but in a nice way, So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then obviously then we have, in just juxtaposition to that, the Meadow and everything that's going on in there. So you're with Rian and Scanny doing your own thing differently again, which is also equally exciting because they've piled out some of the best Irish albums in the last 4 years. Like you've got Lancome, you've got Bitch Falcon, you've got so many, actually too many to name. Like
loads of them. Like the lads are just, they're on fire. If you've done anything up in if you're a musician and you want to find the most ideal working conditions, go speak to Rian and Scan, the Deaf Brothers in the Meadow, because like they have this way of just the two of them kind of float around the studio going, do a bit of this and a bit of that, just take this and just turn that, plug that into that thing there, and you just do your thing, yeah, work away. And all of a sudden they're taking what was good music and turning it into great music and turning out records. And it's a real old school kind of way they're doing it. It's like they're not putting the emphasis on, oh, let's overdub this bit or overdub that bit. They're putting the emphasis on comfort, making the artist comfortable in the setting, and making it that whatever they want to do isn't a problem. So it's not, they're not looking at their watch all the time going, yeah, well, we don't have time for that. And I've been in situations like that where you've got an engineer who's a 9-to-5er and he's just like, yeah, well, we won't do that, and we're not going to do that. They actually just want to get the record done. They want to get it done right. And it's a real comforting approach to it, because you just don't get it. There's a lot of people who they don't really care about music. The two boys do.
they really do.
So you can hear it in their music.
They have really, really proficient ears. They have incredible taste in music. You also get incredible behind the scenes footage from Scan because he's an incredible photographer.
Amazing,
so
yeah. Scan actually came with us over to Chicago, and he videoed the whole thing, the whole process, and he has thousands and thousands of photographs that he took, and they're all magnificent. And he's got, I think he has six full days of footage, like continuous full days of footage. So it's like he'd done everything. It's like I think he had 5 or 6 cameras with him and done it all himself. So he's a master.
Yeah. When's the documentary and scrapbook style book coming out for New Secret Weapon that Scanny has to get together?
Scan has actually got he's got a book done. He's a hardback book, and we haven't got it yet. He's got a copy of it. He's got one of 2 copies, and he gave one to Steve. So Steve has, if you go into Electrical Audio in Chicago, you'll probably find a New Secret Weapon. It's called Never Don't Give Up. It's a hardback. It's beautiful things, like bit this size, like big hardback photo collage with a little bit of, not much writing, a little bit of writing in it, but it's a magnificent piece of work. We'll definitely have copies of it available some stage, whether we do it in a hardback or we do it in a softback format. But yeah, it's definitely, it's so good. So we just like, there's a lot of work gone into it.
My face. And obviously I missed out on the 2 options for merch back in the New Secret Weapon days, but I have actually made up for that for you with my Panic Attacks t-shirt.
Oh well, I put a smile on your face again. We're actually back selling merch again, so we've got merch up on our Bandcamp. I think we're about to launch our site, so everything's going to be on our website. So, but it's on the Bandcamp already. But yeah, so I'm just waiting to get the merch in. We have it ordered, so it's coming in the next few days. So anyone who wants New Secret Weapon merch, it's going to be there. There's t-shirts and hoodies and the whole lot.
I'll just buy everything New Secret Weapon and never wear anything else again, you know.
Yeah, we'll get the socks. We'll get the New Secret Weapon underwear.
That's really funny. Do you know Shit Kid?
Shit Kid.
Yeah, she's a really, really cool multi-instrumentalist artist. She did underwear. I'm actually wearing Shit Kid underwear right now.
Yeah. We actually talked about doing underwear. Like we were like, let's just do underwear for the crack. For the crack. And no pun intended.
Jesus, I'm so excited. This is just mental.
Yeah, so it's like we've matured a little bit. And we're like, oh, maybe we should actually do more merchandise. It's a funny thing, the merch, actually, because we done merch. I remember we played Forbidden Fruit back in 2015, 14 or 15. I'm not too sure, but I remember we got a load of merch for that, and we were like, oh, hopefully we'll sell loads of merch. So we were playing Saturday night, and we brought all our merch into the merch guy, and we left him with our boxes, and he just asked us how much we wanted for each thing. So he put his mark on it, whatever. Anyway, I came back to him after the gig at the end of the day, and he was like, oh, you sold a couple of t-shirts and a couple of hoodies. I was like, all right, cool. I said, look, we're actually going to celebrate now. We're going to have a bit of crack. So do you mind if I come in tomorrow and pick up the stuff off you? And he's like, yeah, that's no worries. I'll be here. So the next day was like, so the Saturday night was like kind of rocky kind of buzz. It was all kind of built rock bands. And then this Sunday was all electro and kind of hip hop electro stuff. So I went in the next day to kind of pick up all the stuff. And I was like looking around, and I was like, oh, there's someone with a New Secret Weapon t-shirt on. I was like, there's a hoodie. I was like, all right. I was like, that's pretty cool. Didn't really think much of it. Went up to collect our merch, and he was like, sold out of everything. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, sold out of everything. He's like, the only thing we've sold all day is your stuff. And like, people didn't know. They didn't know the band. They just liked the look at the gun and the t-shirt and stuff, and they just bought it. So yeah, I think maybe we should actually get a bit more merch. So that's what we did. We sorted out the website, and we've got some stuff up online.
Yeah, no, that's actually one of my regrets in life, is not having a New Secret Weapon t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm working on more stuff. See, I do all the designs for the t-shirts and stuff. So I'm working on some new stuff. But I've got some of the original, the original stuff, like the blue and red, and we're starting up a Patreon, so I'm gonna have special stuff on the Patreon. So people who sign up for our Patreon, they can buy a limited edition t-shirt. So we'll have there'll be all sorts of options and things there. And I'm looking at a few other things, but as they go up, I'll keep you informed, so you can check out the website. It's not up. I don't think it's up yet. I think it'll be up maybe tomorrow. The website will be live tomorrow, so it should have everything on it then.
Well, I have to say, the first day in February is shaping up to be the best day of my year so far. I mean, I get to see you guys perform live for the first time ever, because I've never made it to a New Secret Weapon gig, and I get to buy merch.
It's all happening. Sandy's coming late.
So obviously you're going to be doing the live stream tomorrow. It's a different, way than usual. I've seen the few hot press ones. They've all been great from the Button Factory. I'm just interested on how you're adapting to the new format. Like, how does it feel like?
Well, it's different. It's obviously different because it's there's no one there really. You're just playing to a camera. But I think we rehearsed for that, and we kind of set up the way we normally would in rehearsal situations. So we set up in the triangle, pointing at each other, and it works. It works better. You just have to get around the fact that you've got a camera in your face, and if you just try to ignore the camera, it's fine. So I think this is the way things are going to be for the next while. So you have to get used to it. You have to adapt to it. and it's not bad. Like you need to be putting out content and stuff, so you need to have cameras in your face. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. So we all walk around with cameras in our hands, in our pockets all the time. So yeah, I wouldn't be one for doing many video streams or anything like that, but it's going to change. Unfortunately, we're going to have to start doing it, just get it out there. So we're hopefully when we set up this Patreon, we're going to be putting out content quite regularly. So we'll be having kind of nice little snippet bits of new stuff we're working on, and we're going to have a lot of stuff coming out. So you'll see a lot more of it, a lot more after this.
Amazing. Yeah. Exactly what I like to hear.
Like Becca, we might as well. What else are we going to do? We love doing what we're doing. We might as well share it with people.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've talked about the new format. I'd love to talk about gigs past and venues that you have special memories of. So like, what are your kind of top memories of gigs or places you recommend going to whenever we can again, so that venues don't get forgotten? Do you know, Trevor? It's a bit of a...
Yeah, well, the Button Factory is always memorable for us because it's like we've played a few sold out shows there, and it's an amazing place when it's heaving. Yeah, there's been a few places we've been to around the country. What have you remember? Actually, do you know what? There's a place in London that will always be in our hearts and in our memories. It's a Windmill in Brixton. We played, I think it was our first gig in London in the Windmill, and we're just, the way they operate, the guys are just really on the same wavelength as us. And Seamus, the owner, like anytime we'd come into the pub after that, he'd refuse to let us put our hand in our pocket, and he'd basically just get us drunk until we fell out of the place. So we said numerous occasions we went down there, and Seamus would be like, no, you're getting it. We'd have to sneak money into the barman's hand just to get him a drink. But yeah, that's all a memorable one. That's just this guy. I think he's from Mayo. I think it's Mayo or Kerry. But just this Irish lad has set up a bar and is just loves having the Irish bands, loves having all the music around. But it's just the bar became iconic. The venue became iconic because of that. It's just this, you can really feel the love of it. What other venues? We've done a few. Roaching Dove's always a good crack. We've got Sweeney's, which isn't there anymore, unfortunately. That was our. If you were to call a place your home, that was it. And we'd always get it like a royal treatment in there. Like I remember when we were living in London, I came back, and we didn't have 2 cents to rub together. We had nothing. But we'd always land back to Sweeney's, and we'd just go there because there would always be a friendly face there. So we'd head to Sweeney's and we'd bump into someone. But John, anytime we'd rock in, John would be like, 3 points. Yeah, no, we wouldn't have money for the points. He's like, no, 3 points. What are you having to eat? No, we're grand. No, I'm sorting it out. And John, he'd feed us and water us and sit us in the corner, and he'd come over and it turned into this beautiful friendship because we're such good friends with John now. John Sweeney, who started Sweeney's, who started a whole music scene in my eyes. Like he really was this amazing force for good, and it's a shame it's not there anymore. As you can see, it really was a real vacuum out of the whole music scene in Ireland when Sweeney's went under, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know, it was an incredible place for like, especially underground or starting off acts. And there was, again, a great network of people in there. So you'd hear the new music before everyone else, and it had the same vibe, that importance.
It was a crazy place. Like you'd have 3 floors of music. Like you could go upstairs and you might have the Strokes playing upstairs. You might have us playing on the middle floor, and then you'd have like some of the top DJs around Europe playing downstairs. Like as a friend of mine, Luke, put on he put on his own night, a club night where he'd bring in all these different DJs, and like, you could have guys that have residencies in Berlin and stuff like that, in massive clubs in London and stuff downstairs. So like had all this prestige and all these amazing things going on, and it's just like this ordinary bar. You could Strokes upstairs one night, and you could have like guys playing their first gig up up there the next night. You know what I mean? It's amazing. It was just you just don't. I don't know of anywhere that has that anymore. It's a shame, but look, nowhere has it at the moment.
Unfortunately, nowhere has it at the moment.
Yeah, I hope it comes back. I hope I hope there's an injection of money into the industry, and just it all comes back, and people because I can see after all of this, everyone's going to be just mad to get back and watch a gig or do stuff. It's just going to just starved of it. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
No, I definitely think there's definitely a huge surge in quality of music at the moment. Loads of people are reinventing during lockdown. Loads of people are coming back, like yourselves. Loads of people are starting off for the first time. It's really exciting to watch, and there's loads of people fighting really hard for people to be seen. So I think when all this ends, there's going to be an incredible want for everyone to go to gigs and gig attendance. Like, I mean, the only thing I foresee as maybe a problem is the shortage of venues, but we'll find ways around that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully there's going to be like to say like there's going to be probably a recession after all this, but the greatest art is made during a recession, and that scene, that whole Sweeney's thing, that started in the middle of a recession. So do you know what? Like I can like see a lot of good things coming out of this, even if there is a financial thing and a financial downturn or whatever. I'm excited. I'm always excited because there's like that's when music flourishes. It's like I hate to say it, but some bars close down and they can't open back up. But that creates opportunity for people to come in and be able to set up stuff at a lower cost and be able to put on these kind of shows and be able to host all these bands and stuff like that. And it really, I know it's a cycle, it happens, but I think I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good when all the chips drop on this one. Like,
I agree. I'm excited. Whatever happens after this, I know it's going to be amazing. And there is nothing better than struggle for artists to actually fight harder and create beauty. So I'm the same as you. I'm like, bring it.
Yeah, bring it.
Excuse me. I'm just going to read my questions because I do need these. Like they are like.
Loads of them there, Jesus.
I was very nervous for this interview. I know you're my friend as well as one of my heroes, but I was very nervous for this interview. What local musicians or bands or artists would you recommend? So local can mean anywhere in our 32 counties, but I'd like to hear your stance on what's good out there at the moment and I should be paying attention to, or we all should be paying attention to.
Yeah, but there's there's obviously there's our mates, like there's the likes of Bitch Falcon, um there's Vernon Jane and people like that. There's people I don't know who are amazing. Like there's a rapper from Limerick, Strange Boy, amazing. He's putting out amazing stuff, really high quality. I don't know if you've heard of him. Have you? Go to SoundCloud. He's amazing. String Theory, I think, is something that really got me into it. Really got me listening to it. That's kind of hip hop rap stuff. Who else? Like there's Wyvern Lingos. There's like I got if I go naming names, just like so many names to name. Yeah, just like I said to you earlier on, it's hard when you're not around. Just when you're not around musicians, you're not hearing everyone talk about this band or that band. They're going to see gigs, and you're not seeing the support act that you'd never see. You went to see your mate's band, but the support act who are also great. You get to see them, and then that snowballs, and then you go to see them, and there's another support act. So you're kind of missing out on that. You're missing out on all the great acts that you could be finding. Like, and I just feel like I'm not finding as much good Irish music as I was because there's no real way to do it. But like, if I was to name a couple, they're definitely the ones. I'm just trying to think. Is there anything? Is there like it's Chris Conn, who's a mate of mine, who's just recorded an EP. He hasn't released it yet, but I've listened to it. Actually, Rian Trench recorded it. Rian gave me a listen to it, and that's definitely one to be watching out for. Like Chris Conn stuff is amazing. Like it's a breath of fresh air. Yeah, I'd say that's all I know of at the moment. But if you know of any, come on, tell me.
Oh, well, in Waterford at the moment, there's this band who's relaunched similarly enough to you guys called Sons Phonetic. And since you are really into hip hop at the moment, I would recommend them above all other artists at the moment. They're about to release Nakatomi, their first album since 2017, and it's
Yeah.
sounding like fire.
Sons Phonetic.
Yeah,
I'll
they
have to
are
take
like Trevor, they're amazing.
Sons Phonetic. Yeah. So it's kind of hip hoppy kind of stuff, is it?
It's
Yeah.
pure hip hop.
The Waterford heads, are they?
They are Waterford heads.
Yeah, back in your home turf.
Yeah, outside of that, like there's just been so many great bands. Like Vern and Jane couldn't speak highly enough of that album. I think it was the best album of 2020. I listen to it constantly. It cures so much.
Yeah, really good. It just looks like Gemma Dunleavy and people like that are coming out as well. That's real kind of grassroots, kind of raw home stuff. Like
herself and Kinsey just shot out of nowhere in my eyes. Like 1 second they were just, oh, this is a new song. Oh my goodness, everybody knows this. This is amazing. It's great to see. Like,
yeah, it's great. Like that's real. It's a real nod to like how down to earth the music industry is. It's like in Ireland anyway. I love to see stuff like that coming out. It's brilliant. And it's nice the way stuff is going as well. Like there's a lot of people who wouldn't have got a voice, and because of the industry that it is, it's lovely to see like that kind of homegrown fresh talent that's coming out and starting to shine. And there's a lot of stuff that wouldn't have had as much prominence if it wasn't for this kind of coronavirus pandemic buzz. Like,
absolutely. Like it's such a tough time, but everyone seems to be listening to music a lot more severely to get over the tough time, and people are making music more severely to get over the best time. So it's working out really, really well. I'm going to trial a question with you. I've never used it on anyone before, but I'm going to try it out on Trevor. Do you know? Is there a question you always wish someone would ask you, but they've never asked you before?
I don't like questions, so like, no, I don't really know. I don't think so. I don't like. I like it's not something that I think about. I don't really wonder if people ask me questions, because I am kind of I do keep myself. The less I say, the better. Is always my motto. It's just sit in the corner, be silent, and smile and nod. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's no real questions. Have you any questions that you'd like to be asked that no one has ever asked you?
No, actually, now that I think about it, I don't. But you know, I just felt like because maybe there's like music technical questions that I wouldn't know. Like I don't know much about drumming or stuff like that. Maybe there's something that you were always like, geez, I wish some interviewer actually like did enough research on me to ask me about something.
Yeah, I get you. I like there's a there's a thing like I'm a drummer, but like the technical I love drums. I love talking about drums to an extent, but it doesn't lend for good conversation. It doesn't lend for good conversation at all. So it only appeals to the ordinary tech drummers, which like the odd time after a gig I'd get stuck talking to one or two of them, and it's like when you just want to go get a drink and chill out after the gig, you don't really want to be talking about what type of kick pedal you're using at the moment. Although I have my own little thing I'm setting up, which is going to be basically just reviewing drums and going around like because I've got a bit of a collection of drum kits. I've got like about 6 or 7 drum kits, all kind of vintage and stuff like that. So I love that kind of old vintage quirkiness in drums. So sometime I kind of have it roughly set up, but I'm gonna be doing a little bit of it, maybe a YouTube channel where I go and just see weird quirky kits and talk to the owners about them and get a bit of history and stuff like that.
You're gonna add that to your Twitch channel and just
It's going to be on my Twitch channel. Yeah, it's between the gaming and the drumming. Yeah, I'll do that. Just making content. That's all. That's what we do nowadays. That's what we're content creators. We're not musicians.
I've actually a new gaming rig coming tomorrow, so I'm going to be
Oh,
on
yeah.
Twitch. Yeah, I
What's
haven't
the play?
played. Well, you see, I used to be a game con girl. Top secret thing
Yeah,
about me, I used to go to game cons and break men's hearts playing games like Tekken and Street Fighter, like reduced them to absolute tears. Uh,
amazing.
I was really, really good on Call of Duty. I was amazing at loads of games back when I played games. And then I just stopped playing games because I became a mom. So I've invested a lot of money on a new computer to do like higher quality interviews and production. And I was like, screw it. Start a Twitch, play with the boy, like see where you land.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna do. No, I've got at the moment I'm just playing. It's the PlayStation, but I want to get myself a proper gaming rig, and because I love it. Like it's great crack. It's kept me kind of sane. And strangely enough, it's kept me in touch with people. So like I'd play with a few friends of mine, and I'd be onto them quite a bit. So like I know I'm kind of stuck at home. I'm stuck at home, but not really. Like I'm kind of getting out. I'm kind of socializing through the game. So it's been a blessing in disguise. But I'm racking up some serious hours.
But it's great. What games are you playing mostly at the moment?
I'm just playing Call of Duty at the moment.
Amazing.
Yeah, just Call of Duty. So I'm just yeah, I have of a couple of games there that I do like play Gran Turismo with a mate of mine, and I play a bit of Cyberpunk 2077. That's pretty good.
I used to love
But
like
yeah,
Unreal Tournament, and like my favorite video game of all time is Devil May Cry. It's why my son's middle name is Dante, after Dante and Devil May Cry.
really, yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. I didn't know that at all. You'll have to add me now on Call of Duty when you start playing again.
Now we'll definitely have to do some kind of gaming thing together. We'll see where I
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Because I've been watching Kozak do gaming with the lads on his live streams, and I love it so much. And one of the things I miss the most isn't even playing games. Like I could literally spend 8 hours watching someone play games. So I
It's amazing, isn't it? Like I like what when I'm not playing games, I'm watching other people play games. Like it's something. There's something about it. There's a few funny guys actually that I've seen. There's a guy, a Scottish guy who goes on and he kind of takes the piss really there.
Lemmy.
No, it's not Lemmy. Lemmy's amazing though. Lemmy does his what's his trucking one. It's amazing. It's so
Or even
entertaining.
Blind Boy's doing
My
one,
boy's
like where
doing it as
he's
well.
creating songs and you're just
Yeah,
like,
he's doing cyberpunk. Yeah, it's a whole new thing. I just like, you never know. You might even see New Secret Weapon doing a few live stream gaming events for the crack. Like, why not? It's a
yeah,
bit of
that's
fun. People want to see it.
yeah, and it's a really, really good way, you're right, to socialize and network and be around people and to stay busy in your house and enjoy stuff. Like I'm even contemplating starting trying to make music again. I picked up my bass for the first time in 18 years there last week, and I was like, oh, this is what it sounds like plugged in. Nice.
Nice. Yeah, like last night I sat. I have a piano just sitting at the end of my bed, and it's sitting there gathering dust. Like I haven't played it in so long, and I'm just like sat down and started writing a song just straight away. It was just like, oh, this all just came back to me. So just, and now I'm kind of like, straight after this interview, I'm just going to sit down and finish the song. I was like, but it's funny. Like it's funny. You don't like you take so much stuff for granted. And I suppose again, it was weird. I've just spent all my time gaming for the last while, but it's really good for your creativity. Like you really get to it's like you've got a whole kind of fresh uh, uh, muse. The game is your muse, and you've got a whole fresh bottle of creativity there
Yeah,
after
it's a
playing
way of
for 50
getting
hours.
to the flow state. So that's that
Yeah, yeah,
state. Same as surfing or skating. I got like rollerblades as well. Like I'm pulling out all the stops in this.
yeah. Play is just so important for all of that. Like you hear Blind Boy talking about it all the time, about the state of flow and how like it is a thing of psychology where play is a thing that like adults kind of forget about and they just move on from it. But it's a real it's good for your mental health and for your yeah, it's just good for keeping you sane. Like, because if you're everything's so serious all the time, you're going to go mad. Especially our generation, we're all mad anyway. Like.
We're all absolutely cracked.
Yeah,
I've
people
really
do
enjoyed this chat. It's been absolutely amazing. I don't want to keep you away from your keyboard and your process
that.
too long. Is there anything you'd like to add to the interview before I close it off, Trevor?
I'll just tune in tomorrow night to the gig, and if you want, you'll get some. If you go to our Bandcamp, you'll get a way to order some merchandise. We only have limited amount for the moment, but hopefully it'll be read up as soon as the first batch is gone. So yeah, go into our Bandcamp, you'll get it all there.
I'm literally going to stop recording in a minute. While you're still here with me, I'm going to go onto the Bandcamp, order what I'm getting, continue a bit of our chat off camera. But like literally, guys, tomorrow night is something I'm really looking forward to. I think absolutely everyone should tune in to New Secret Weapon from the Button Factory. It's an incredible venue. They're an incredible band. They literally, changed my life. Oh, there he is. Oh, there he is. So we're going to stop recording now, guys. This has been amazing. Thank you so much, Trevor.
No worries. Thanks a million, Rebecca.